Well, hello and welcome back to session two. On behalf of Jonathan and Sharon, I want to welcome you back to the Wealthy PLR session on making the most of your PLR or maximizing your PLR. We're titling this in session two, PLR Make Money, and obviously the first session was PLR Makeover. My name is Charles Harper. I am the product manager with Wealthy PLR. Just as an overview, and we're talking about making money with PLR. So we really kind of want to cut straight through some of the indirect methods. I mean, obviously, you can use it for content. Obviously, you can build a blog. And, you know, if we talked about everything, we could be here for 2 hours at a time. I want to give you some strategies that you can start right away. Use your PLR. Either get more PLR and add to it so that you can, again, start making money with what you have and really get a profit from some of the stuff that I know you have sitting on your hard drive with things that you've bought from the Warrior Forum or JVZoo or whatever the case. So now here's sort of the first thing you got to have, and this is an overview. You're going to hear this throughout the presentation, and it's true. You need to have a business model, and that's probably most important as we start out this discussion. If you have a business model, PLR is going to help you, right? Because you will then start collecting PLR that will help you in your niche. You're going to start collecting PLR, and really and truly, I understanding that you need to be involved in a niche. Most of you might have even picked a niche. Maybe you've picked the weight loss niche. Maybe some of you are involved in internet marketing. That's really only the first step, right? And I know that you hear that a lot, but you've also got to have a business model. You've got to have a way that you know makes money. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit tonight. And once you decide on what your business model is, you need to be decisive, right? If you're going to make money from membership sites, you know, internet marketing is forgiven. And so when I say that, that means that you can actually make a mistake and then you can go back and try something else after that. So the best thing to do is decide on the business model and get started, right? Don't worry about making a mistake. Don't worry about ruining your position in the marketplace. You need to follow through on something. And probably the thing that plagued me in my early years of internet marketing, as I'm sure some of you have probably realized, is that you know, everything works, right? So it's not a matter of finding something that works. I mean, most people are ethical and they put out products that work, and as a result of that, you get sidetracked, and so you buy this product in this area or another product in another area, and so you never really have any continuity. You need to get a business model, and then you got to follow through on it. You have to see it through to the end. You have to see it through till you actually make a dollar, and sometimes that might take you longer than somebody else does. Don't assume that something just doesn't work because you didn't follow through or you didn't get beyond the first time where you put something out there and it doesn't work. You have to follow through. So that's kind of a precursor. You have to be able to do that in order to make money with your PLR. Now the question is, now how do you want to make money, right? How do you want to do that? Do you want to use a membership site? Do you want to create AdSense, a path to AdSense? Do you want to build a list and create products? Do you want to just sell affiliate products? Regardless of what you do, you're going to need private label rights as you get started, and you're probably going to need it as you go along because, again, it gives you leverage so that you don't have to create everything from scratch, and you can use the expertise that other people have in the subject matter. Now, the next question is going to sound as if this is probably as if I'm treating you or babying you in some way, and that really is not the case. I'm thinking about my own experience. I'm thinking about those of you who I've spoken with, and I'm thinking about just in general when I go to forums and I see comments, what I recognize is that most internet marketers, when they get started, they get an account on the Warrior Forum, they get an account in the forum, Digital Point, and what you sort of get started doing is just looking at things, when really one of the first things you have to do is figure out what you're going to sell. You know, what are you going to sell? Information products? Are you going to sell memberships? Are you going to sell books? Are you going to sell ebooks? Because you can't promote anything, you can't create information about anything, you can't write a blog, you can't attract people effectively until you know what you're going to sell. That affects everything. It's going to affect how you write your copy. It's going to affect how you create landing pages. It's going to affect how you create pre-sale pages. And the reason that most people kind of flounder is they don't answer the two questions that I have right here. How do you want to make money? Then what are you going to sell? Right? Decide tonight, if you haven't done that already, decide what you're going to sell. You have a PLR product. Decide that you are going to sell that product. And maybe it's not your cup of tea. Maybe it's not necessarily the way you want to get started, but you need to pick something, decide to sell it, and follow through. Now, the question then becomes, is there a need for what you want to sell? Right? Do you know that somebody's out there looking for what you want to sell? It's not wise to go to the marketplace with something that you think is going to sell, or you think that people need, but you have no way of knowing that. So when I ask you that there at the end, I ask you, well, how do you know there's a need for what you want to sell? And the easiest way to do that, we talked about this in session 1. If you haven't seen session 1, you need to watch it. We talked about the fact that you need to determine what people want. You can do that by going to different forums. You can do that by looking at the questions that people are asking on social media, in Quora, right? Wherever people are asking questions, Yahoo Answers, check to see what questions people are asking, and that'll give you some indication for what you need to sell, right? Because if you come to the marketplace with something and it really isn't something that solves anybody's problem, right? You've got to figure out what problem are you solving. Now, I don't have that written there, but that really comes under, is there a need for what you want to sell? Ask yourself this question. What need in the marketplace does my product or service solve? Write that down if you don't have it. What problem does my product or service solve in the marketplace? Because if you can't answer that, more than likely, you might not necessarily have something that's going to be worth your time to learn how to market, right? And so the question then becomes, then if you figured out what you want to sell, you figured out there's a need in the marketplace, what's your value proposition? In other words, what are you going to provide to the customer? And what is it that is about, what's unique about what you're offering that gives them 10 times the value of what they're paying? In other words, can you easily give your customer 10 times the value in what they're paying? Listen, even if they're paying their time on your site, you want to monetize your site with AdSense. Are you giving them 10 times the value of their time on your site? Is your content that good? Is it that attractive? Is it that needful that you are really giving them that level of content? Or whatever it is your value proposition. You've got to figure out what you're offering that really makes it worth it to do business with you in particular. Right? With you in particular. These are very important questions, and really at the outset, if you can't answer these questions, you're going to have problems monetizing your PLR in the long term. You can probably make a little money in the short term, right, with some of the stuff we're going to be showing you right now, but if you want to build a business and you want to not be looking for, another product to sell all over again at the end of next month or the middle of next month, you need to have a value proposition, and you really need to be giving 10 times the value. Now, how are you going to get traffic, right? If you're like I was, and you're like anybody else in internet marketing, you're always taking traffic courses, right? Or you're going to traffic summits, or you're watching traffic videos, or you're buying traffic courses, or it really doesn't matter. You're reading traffic blogs or blogs that talk about traffic. And while all those things are important, well, listen, more than likely, you need to master one method of getting traffic. And keep your eyes kind of focused on that until you master it and you're getting things that convert, right? Master one method. So if you're going to do this with SEO, I understand Google changes things, then master the new changes, right? Master getting traffic from Google. If you're going to do social media, right, master social media until the point where you can get traffic at will, right? Whatever your traffic method is, master one method first. Okay, there are a gazillion ways for you to get traffic back to your website, but you need to master one method. It needs to be to the point where you know backwards and forwards what's going to happen or how it's going to happen. Now, here's the last thing that I kind of want to talk to you about here in this overview, and that's this. I realize that some of you may not necessarily want to go through building a list, or you don't want to have people that you have to email. You just want to make money. You want to make money as an affiliate. It's rare and it's hard to make money in the long term without a list. That's just a fact. You cannot always come up with new products in order to sell, in order to generate an income or to grow your business. Right? The only way for you to grow your business so that you're not redoubling your efforts every single month is to build a list, because you're going to market to that list. You're going to work to deserve in order to sell more to them. And then those are going to be the easiest sales that you're going to make, sending offers to your list that they truly want, right? So it's rare. It is extremely rare. There are some cases, of course, where some individuals, they are going to use all of the internet marketing tricks. They just refuse to build a list, right? And refuse to build an email list. So, take that into consideration. If it is your business model that you don't need to build a list, then by all means don't build one. But that you're going to be in the 99th percentile, right? Or the first percentile. You're not going to be in great company. There are very few, very rare companies that can make money long term without building a list. Now, we have kind of gone over these. These are going to be principles that are going to reappear throughout our session today. And we're going to spend a lot of time really going over things that maybe you haven't considered in terms of how to get your PLR into motion so that you can start making money. I'm going to share with you a favorite method of mine at the end of this part of the course. So you'll want to stick around, and you'll want to make sure that you're hearing me when I talk about the one method that's really it's almost foolproof. It's almost foolproof. It's never failed me, and I think that if you follow it, it's one way that you can monetize your PLR and be almost certain that it's going to work. Okay, so now let's start talking about in the last session. Right, we talked about 7 principles to making over the PLR, and I want to go through those 7 things right now. Okay, so let's do a little review from the last session. Once again, if you haven't seen it, you want to go ahead and check it out. What do you do when you make over a PLR or a piece of PLR or a group of PLR? You make it ready to sell. Right, so basically, you take a piece of PLR, articles, video course, series of things, and you make it ready to sell. Remember, one of the first things you've got to do is you research the market. So when we talked about in the last little section, we talked about the fact that how do you know that what you have to sell is what people want? And you should be able to verify that based on what you see in a marketplace. You should be able to point to posts and forums. You should be able to point to articles that have been written. You should be able to see specifics that tell you, okay, this is something that the market wants. And then you're going to figure out what resources you have so that you can put together a new product or service or content or something that really solves people's problems. You're then going to reposition it. So just because you got a PLR package and it is in a specific niche, that doesn't mean that you have to use it that way. You can repackage the product and then sell it to a different market all entirely, depending on what the product is. So you want to reposition. That's the third point. The fourth part of PLR makeovers is being able to repurpose the content. So in some cases you might find that, well, I really need MP3s, but they're not with me, or these people need something that they can read perhaps if they don't have it, or something they can listen to if they don't have it, or something they can watch. Taking your content, reformulating so that it's the same thing but it's in a more usable form for the people that you're actually selling to. Okay, you're going to have to reinforce your product sometimes. That might mean that you might need more than one package in order to get the job done, or you might need to add an interview, or you might need to add some expert content. So reinforcing, and then of course we also talked about the final step, which is repackaging your PLR. And that is, once you understand what the market is, once you understand what they want, and once you've decided what it is you're going to sell, then you can take your PLR, repackage it, and then put it into its sales process. Whether or not you're going to use a squeeze page, sales page, you repackage it so that it is then ready to sell. Now what I want to do now is I want to go over some basic direct ways that you can make money with PLR. So these are going to be the basic categories, and I realize that these are going to be some really broad categories, a lot fit under here, but just about every way that you can make money directly with PLR will fit into one of these 6 categories. Now you can always rebrand it and resell it as an information product. So you get, let's say, you get content, you get sales materials, you can slightly rebrand it, you can reposition it, but you can resell the very same content as an information product for the very same reason it was created. In other words, you buy a product, the subject matter is, let's say, it's list building, and so you're going to resell that and rebrand it, but you're going to resell it and rebrand it as a list building product. You're not going to change anything. You're just going to sell it as is, or resell it as is if you get the rights to it. Now, this is a strategy. Some people use it. Some people will get the product, and because they're not going to be sending the same traffic as someone else, maybe they're going to be buying Facebook ads, maybe they're going to be doing solo ads, or maybe they're going to even sell it offline. They're rebranding and reselling it as an information product. The second way that you can do that is that you can generate income with your PLR is you can create a brand new info product with it. So whether you take other PLR, add it to what you have, whether you break it up and put it into a different form, you're basically taking what was given to you. Let's say you got a product on list building again, and you're only going to use 3 or 4 videos out of the product, and you're only going to use part of the PDF, and you're going to combine it with another product, and you're going to put together a product, let's say, on CPA marketing, right? So you're basically taking the PLR that you purchased, and you're creating something brand new, something that did not exist. So the content, while it's still relevant, is only as relevant as what you are going to decide to sell, right? A brand new info product. Now you can also use it as bait to attract people to your list. You're basically going to make it the bribe for your squeeze page, right? Where you will then market to the people who are on your list. That is a way that you can directly make money with PLR. So this is something that, once again, you don't have to change anything. You can typically take what you've been given and you're going to give, you're going to write a little copy, or in some cases, you might even already have the copy. And you're going to send traffic to a page and you're going to offer this as a bribe. Now, this is this is a little more sophisticated, but people do it. You can create a new service with it. For example, you can create a coaching program. Now, when I say a coaching program, I'm not talking about having people come to a membership site. I'm talking about people getting on Skype with you and you using that PLR to give them information on what it is that they're talking about. These people that you're working with probably won't know that you're using PLR. This would probably or could probably work inside of the internet marketing niche. It probably won't work outside of there unless you really do have expertise in that area, right? So you're going to create a brand new service. You are coaching someone or you're giving them hints and tips, and you're using your PLR to give them those tips. You may not have the level of expertise in an area, so you're going to use the PLR to give yourself the instruction where you're going to deliver this instruction to another individual who's paying you for coaching, right? Again, a little more sophisticated, hard to do, but people are using PLR for this reason. Probably one of the most popular ways to use PLR is to create a membership or membership site. Now, I say that you can create a membership because creating a site is not a prerequisite to being able to monetize this your PLR in that way. We're going to go over this in a minute, but you can certainly have someone signed on to your email list or signed on to an autoresponder as soon as they make the purchase, and then they will then get your content on a regular interval. So if you're giving out content every day, every week, every month, they're going to get it, and they get it when they sign up for the membership, and the membership doesn't take them to a site. All it does is puts that person inside of the database immediately and makes them It makes them ready to receive your content. Right now, the last is probably very simple. You've probably seen this before. You can use your PLR to create an affiliate bonus. Now, that works in two ways. If you are a product creator, you can help your affiliates by giving them a bonus to send to their list, right? If you are the affiliate and you are selling the products to your list, you can offer the PLR product as a bonus for people purchasing the product on your list, or a combination of such. Now, these are the 6 basic ways that you can make money directly with PLR. That's where we're going to spend our time in this session. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the basic indirect ways, and obviously these are broad categories. That's not going to be the scope of this course, but we can talk about these in general. You can create content, whether you use that content for press releases or blog posts or podcast or YouTube videos. You're creating content, right? The way you use the content, again, there are a number of ways to use it, right? But you are basically taking your PLR, you're leveraging the expertise in order to create content in an area that you will not have to both do the research and the writing and scripting. You can use your PLR content to create a buzz, or with PLR or PR. So if you want to write press releases, if you want to use your content on social media in order to attract people, these are things that you can do in order to create a buzz. We'll probably talk about social media here in a minute also. Now, you can also use them to answer questions in places like Quora or Yahoo Answers, right? So you can, if you don't know the answer and you have a piece of PLR that's been written, and it kind of is the answer to the question, you can use that PLR if their answer is better than what you'd be able to put out yourself. You can use your PLR content. Once again, these are all the indirect ways, so none of these are going to lead directly to a sale. Right? You can do social media posts with your PLR, and you can also write trade journal articles. So in other words, you can use your PLR. You're obviously going to have to rewrite it as you would in any case you're going to put it on your blog. You're going to need to rewrite that content, and then you can submit it to some of the trade journals that need content. Lastly, the other basic indirect way is you can use it to attract offline customers. You can either use it by attracting them so that they know that you can create their content, right? Or you can use it in order to give them information so that they want to sign up for your list. And of course, this is the kind of PLR that I wrote for years, so there is a need for that PLR. Now, what you can do is, or what you can't do, and I've got that stricken out there, do not use your PLR to write books and upload them on Amazon. I mean, there are a number of censors, there are a number of things that will keep you from writing that book, and you may need to write a book in order to be an expert in your niche, which is great. Just don't take PLR, shove it into an Amazon feed, and then put it up on Amazon Kindle or CreateSpace. Your book is going to get flagged, number one. You might have your account closed as a result of it, and it just doesn't add any value to a book that someone's going to buy on their Kindle. So once again, you want to be very careful as you use your PLR, but definitely I'm going to suggest that you don't at all use it for books unless you're using it for research and you are actually doing the writing yourself. Okay, so those are the basic indirect ways to make money with PLR content. Now, we're going to be talking about the direct ways, right? The direct ways. Let's take a step back here. We're going to be talking about these direct ways to make money with PLR for the entire rest of the session, right? And if you want more information, of course, on making money indirectly, of course, you can contact us, and we'll be happy to give you more information on that. Okay, so now let's start talking about each one of these different ways. We're gonna try to cover every possible way that you can sort of do this underneath each one of these. Of course, at the end, we are going to pull together all of these concepts, right? We're going to pull together all of these concepts in one method. So I want you to kind of hang with me here. Okay, now the first sort of broad category we want to cover is probably the simplest one, and it's one that really depends on your traffic source, right? Because you're talking about basically not changing much with the product at all. So you're rebranding and reselling the product, and it's pretty much going to be the same content, right? And for example, let's say that your product is a list building. It's a one-off product that you're selling, and even if you change it a little bit, you're basically going to resell it to a slightly different audience as a list building one-off product. So you're not changing the subject of the product. It's basically going to be the same content. It's going to be the same kind of product. So, you know, the advantage there is, of course, you can use most of the same content or copy, definitely, and you don't have to change the videos, right? Because typically the videos aren't necessarily made so that you've got to change them or that you've got to rebrand them. So you can do this if you have a traffic source already, and we'll go into the traffic a little bit here. Now, just one thing about this. You can typically make things easier if you purchase the upsell package, and that's so that you don't have to try to recreate sales material, it's going to be a lot easier, and it's going to be a lot faster, and probably going to make it just as easy to convert if you already have some existing material to work with. And typically that's going to be the most time-consuming thing, graphics and getting them done. When you've already got graphics in place and you can change them a little bit, and we went over this in the last video, you can purchase that upsell package, and then you can change it slightly in order to offer it to a different sector of the market. Now, one thing that you can do is you can definitely make your package unique by adding or reinforcing the package, of course. And you can add interviews, you can add unique content, all those things to make the package unique. Now, you probably don't want to offer it with the same name or with the very same content. You want to make yours unique. You want to create it. And one of the things, my personal rule is, even if I use PLR, my personal rule is that by the time I've recreated a product, right, even if I'm reselling it as the same content, it's going to have 10 times the value of what I'm going to be asking people to pay, right? So I am really looking to make mine unique by giving them more value. So I want to find out more about what they need, more about the questions they're asking, and I want to provide that. Either maybe I might provide a webinar, maybe I might provide an interview, maybe I might just provide my own self, maybe I might just provide an hour's worth of content. But whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to make that package totally unique by adding to or reinforcing that package with more content on the same subject. Now, as I said before, this is really going to work best if you already have a list, right? So once again, kind of go back to what we said here at the beginning. You want to make sure you've got a list. And if you haven't built a list and you're looking to undertake some strategies in order to do that, then maybe in the third session I'll cover that a little bit. I know that's been a question that I've been getting, and we'll talk about that a little bit in session number 3. Now, if you don't have a list already, you want to, at the very least, you want to have at least a source of cheap targeted traffic. So maybe you're running Facebook ads. Maybe if you are skilled at it, you can run PPC ads. And a lot of that, of course, depends on how well you convert. You really need to know what you're doing in order to do PPC. Or if you are going to sell that product as, you're going to sell it on the back end of an opt-in, which you're going to talk about. But you need to have a source of cheap targeted traffic if you're just going to resell the same content and you're going to send people direct to the offer once you finish the sales page. Now, probably one other thing that I wanted to mention here, you need to have access to other sources of PLR on the same subject. And I want to show you kind of the way I would look at this. And now I'm going to show you just a couple of packages here. Now, if I were going to create something and just sell it to, let's say I was going to sell a package to internet marketers on the subject of PLR. Right? Here's what I would do, and here's some stuff that's on my hard drive already. I keep track of my PLR pretty much by, I keep all my PLR separate, and when I bring in PLR, I separate it into subjects. And that's really one thing, and I didn't say that in the last session, and I really probably want to make that kind of clear to you. Whenever you buy PLR, as soon as you get it, don't just download it to your hard drive. Take the time, and at the very least, the least thing you need to do is you need to separate it into categories. Now, this PLR, you see I've got a second subdirectory for PLR. That's because that's the subject, right? The subject is PLR. So I'm going to download that into my subject area, PLR. And so when I want to create a product on PLR, right, I can use this content, and I can take a look at it, and I can say, okay, well, what am I going to use of this? What am I going to put together? And you can do the very same thing in whatever niche you are. So when you get 2, 3, 4, 5 products in an area, you download it and you put it into a section, because all of it matters. All of it really does help you to boost a product and to make it ready in order to offer more value. And I said it's a personal rule, but it's one that you need to follow also. I'm going to close this now. You need to follow the general rule that you want to, even if you're going to rebrand and resell the product, right? Make sure you're offering 10 times the value of what people are paying. That's important. And you want to, if you're going to buy traffic, if you're going to send your list to it, you want them to see your offer, and it should be a no-brainer, right? It should have that much value in it. They look at it and they say, okay, you know what, I'm going to get this. It's more than worth what I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to use it. Your copy can be awful, right? But if you're offering 10 times the value, that's going to make it evident, and you're going to get sales, and you're probably going to get them faster than than you would before. Obviously, as I say always, I can't make a guarantee that's going to happen, but routinely I can tell you that has happened when I've sold PLR. Okay, now probably the next thing that you can do with your PLR, and once again, this is a broad category. We're gonna try to talk about the most direct routes into getting your product into a way that it can make money in each of these sections. This one is no different. Now, one thing you can do is you can create a brand new info product with your PLR. And again, it goes without saying that you need a traffic source, and we'll get into that. You need a traffic source, and we'll probably talk about that in the next session. Now, here's the thing about creating a new info product with your PLR. This has to be market driven, right? It's not a test to just make up a product. So don't just make up a product in order to sell just because you've got a bunch of PLR. You're not testing the market then. You're testing the market when you've already gone and done research and you figured out that the market has a gap, or there are products already being sold in a certain category and you can bring a twist to it, or there's something that the market is asking a question about that nobody knows that people will find useful. This has to be market driven. So this is not just magic where you put together a bunch of products, throw up a sales page, and it's going to make money. It's not, unless you really determine that there's a need. Now, what you can do with your PLR is you can create something with a broader subject, right? So let's say that in our example, you've got this list building product. And so what you have determined is that there's a need for a CPA marketing product, and you need to have a section in that CPA product where they're talking about list building, right? So you can then take your product and you can add it inside of it becomes a part to the whole. The whole subject is CPA marketing, but you are adding in your product as a list building component, right? So that is one way to use the PLR. Now, the other way, of course, that you can do that is you can niche it down, and you can then sell it inside of a bigger package with the small niche. So you can, let's say, do a list building product. Now, here's the important part about that. Now, the real work to that is not just finding products, right? That's easy, and you've got a number of ways where you can have products made available to you, right? That's not going to be the hard part. The hard part is picking complementary products, because this is not a case where you want to stack bonuses, right? That's not creating a new product just by stacking products on stack of products. That's a bonus where you can do that, but it's not creating a new product. You've got to find products that have complementary aspects. So you need to find products that when you add them together, they create a bigger product. Or in other words, you look for the missing element to the product that you have and you find a new PLR product. Now, obviously, you need a source, you need a fairly large source or pool to work with, but provided that you have that, you need to find things that complement each other to create a bigger product. Okay. Now, here's the really, I think, the thing that I see a lot of people doing, and that even I had some success with. Now, you take your content and you add in a piece of software or even a cool piece of software, and you really will have what I think is a really ninja product. Now, there are a lot of ways to do this. Now, you can add in a WordPress plugin. You can add in something as simple as an autoresponder and create a series. And now, one of the things that I did, right, that I did inside of the offline niche is I preloaded the content so that all the people had to do was just get the code, and then they would get a preloaded content. They would get preloaded content. That was important for offliners because all they had to do was there was no setup. They instantly had an email campaign in order to attract customers. So anytime you add software, that's going to make it sell faster, and it's also going to create uniqueness in a new product. Now, you can already have a new product, and then you can add in your content. Right? That's another way to do it. So definitely putting together what you have along with software is a brand new product, and it's unique, and where the market has evolved in internet marketing today, you can almost get a minimum number of sales just by doing that. I mean, obviously there's no guarantees, but you can do better. Either if you have a piece of software created, you can go to Elance, you can go to Odesk, and you can have a piece of software created for not that much money. And you can specify what it needs to be done. You get some testing done, and you have a product. Now, one of the things that I would caution you about this, I caution you about WordPress plugins, I'm going to caution you about creating software, is that once you sell software, you need to support it. Right? So there's a fine line between making sure that you really have software that is going to be satisfying to the market. But remember, technology changes, Google changes, WordPress changes. All these things will impact your software. So if you put a piece of software out there, you need to be prepared to support it. And when people start using it in different browsers, you're going to find that you're going to have bugs in it. So make sure that if you want to do this, remember we talked about having a business model. You need to understand that when you do this, you're going into the software business, right? So, but it is a way to generate more income with your info product. Of course, you can add in sales materials and give your buyers rights to resell the product, and you've basically created an upsell then. Right, so you're going to give them their sales letters. You're going to give them their, their sales videos. You're going to give them everything. You're going to make it push button simple for them to sell the product. Now, this is a lot of work, and it's not an easy thing to do. You are going to have some outsourcing. Once again, really, even still, you need to add value. Right? You need to add value. So even if you're going to add sales materials, you still need to create value for both the upsell and your front end package. Now, you can just take your PLR, and you've already got an existing product out there, and you can just create a brand new info product with it. Right? You can do that. I mean, that's a great way to create another product with your PLR. So now let's kind of move on to the next section here. Now, one other way, of course, you can use your PLR is you can use it as bait to attract people onto your list. And this is whether or not you can be doing a solo ad, you can be doing ad swaps, you can be running traffic to it, you can be doing you can be running a bonus inside of another person's product. Regardless of what you're doing, You're basically taking your PLR. You're creating something that you know people want. So once again, I need to return to this idea that this needs to be market tested. It should be something that people want. It should be something they don't have already. Right now, you'll always get opt-ins. Typically, you always get opt-ins, even if you put something free together. But you want to attract people who really want to solve a problem. Right? You don't want to attract people who just want free stuff. So you want to create your bonus so that if you're solving a problem that you know people have, and that they will, when they see your squeeze page or they see your opt-in page, they'll look at it and they'll say, hey, I really need that information. I want it. Now, we're going to discuss a way to do this at the end of the call that combines all the methods. So I need to remind you of that. So just make sure that you stick around. And you need to create a unique bribe. That's what you're doing. Right, so even if you don't have a lot of time, take the PLR that you have and redo it. Right, create something new. Create something. Even if, let's say, you have two PDFs. Let's say you've got master resale rights on both of them, and you didn't. Maybe say they've got two different titles, but you can call that. Right, you can call that combination anything that you want, just as long as they deliver on the benefits that you promised in your squeeze page. Now, typically, yeah, you're going to have this squeeze page. If you get one with the PLR that you're buying, right? And again, I encourage you to consider always getting, the upsell when you've got sales material and it's being offered to you. Pick it up, because this kind of stuff makes it easy when you want to go out and really offer it. Now, the key is going to be writing the copy for your squeeze page, right? And you want to keep your squeeze page copy short, to the point, and full of benefits, right? Your headline, and write this down if you haven't heard this before, because this is necessary, even though it's really simple, and you can do this. You can write your own copy for your squeeze page. Your headline should have a big promise and big benefit, right? So it's not about the features of the product. Big promise, big benefit. What do people really want? Make a big promise as to how they're going to get it when they get on the inside, and that they're going to get this huge benefit that they really want. Do that in your headline. The rest of the copy should be about the benefits they're going to get when they opt in and get what it is that you're offering, which is your bribe. Now, you can also use PLR, and you should use PLR to give your subscribers content, right? You should break up your PLR and send it out to them as articles, right? If you have PDFs and you want to make available to you, you can do that, but they should be getting solid content by email on a regular basis, and that's what you use PLR for. You're not using this PLR for the search engines, right? You're using it to put out to your subscribers to kind of keep yourself as the authority, right? Now, the last thing that I really need to say about this is that you want to remember, look, people buy packaging, and you definitely want to have big benefits and big promise, right? You want to make that a no-brainer, but go all the way. Right? Follow this all the way through, and make sure you have a fantastic graphic. If you're getting a report, make sure that report is stunning. And and this is really easy. Hire somebody on Fiverr to do it. You can get eCover graphics done there, and that is a very easy thing to do. Have it done for you, right? And have a fantastic, very eye-popping graphic along with your benefit and your benefit-based headline and bullets. Okay, so that's really just kind of another way that you can use PLR, using it as bait to attract people on your list. Okay, now this strategy that I'm about to share with you is a little more advanced, only in that you need to be advanced in your knowledge. You might not necessarily have to be advanced in how you deliver it, but you should really know the subject matter very well. So when when we talk about using PLR in this way, you should just be organizing, right? This is not for you to kind of fake it till you make it. You're really providing your student some organized information. So you definitely should already know the subject matter, right? So this coaching service that you're doing, you're using your PLR, you're using it in order to deliver something to your student, whether or not they're going to use that content in order to create a product, but you're using it so that you have something to offer. You have something to give them. You're providing them additional value. If you're doing internet marketing coaching, it is invaluable for you to have PLR to give to them right now. Of course, you're going to check the rights, and we'll talk about that in the next session. But you want to make sure that your knowledge of the subject matter is not questioned, but you are providing, again, more than what they're paying for, and you're really putting them in a position to make more money. Okay, now, I just talked about you want to give your student a copy of the contents, and there are coaches, who that's all they do. That's all they do is internet marketing coaching, and this is something that if you're knowledgeable in a certain area, you've got credibility, that you've already made money online, you can help somebody else to make money online. You can be a coach, but the PLR kind of gives you that added, gives you that extra edge. It gives you that extra ability to offer them something that helps them not have to create everything from scratch. Right, and you probably understand from being new, you got to create everything from scratch, right? Even if somebody's coaching you, it makes it hard to do things between week to week. But if you give somebody something that's already done for them, gives them a couple of steps, you can give them confidence, they can have more success, and they'll recommend your coaching more. This is not a membership, right? Now we're going to talk about a membership in a minute, but this is not a membership. You're coaching, so you're giving these people content. You are using it as an organizing factor. You're using it as a factor of ease to help your student, right? And so having that PLR handy, being able to draw from different sources. So once again, here's where we go back to, once again, making sure that whenever you get PLR, organize it according to subject. Right? You never know if you're going to start a coaching program. You start your coaching program, you need to be able to quickly access PLR, check out the rights, see if it's something you can give to your student, and do it. Right? Now, when you're coaching, you're being paid a little more. Right? You're being paid a little more. So you theoretically have time to research better PLR. So that's what you should be doing. You should be researching better forms of PLR, because again, this is going to be something where you are putting together something of quality for them, and you want to not only deserve what you're being paid as a coach, but you also want to be able to over-deliver even in your coaching sessions, right? People hire you as a coach. Okay, whenever I've coached, I understand what my role is. Right, my role is to move them faster than if they are going to buy an information product. My role and your role as a coach is going to be, right? Your role as a coach is going to be to get them to the starting line of whatever they're trying to do. You cannot do it for them, but you can get them to the starting line, and the more that you're able to give them, right, the more that you're able to give them that's done for them, you are going to get them to that starting line and get them making money quickly. Okay, now, of course, this is kind of near and dear to my heart. You can create a membership with your PLR, and this is something, now I'm just a full disclosure and kind of a little bit of transparency here. Now, when I sold off my business, I did the one part that I retained was membership, right? And I'll tell you why that's just a totally great way to do things. Now, here's the thing, and you want to sort of be careful with this. I know that it's popular to sell WordPress plugins in order to create memberships, right? And so WordPress is dramatically easy, and I love WordPress because of that. WordPress membership scripts, not so much. And the ones that are easy to use, they tend to be on the expensive side. So you have to understand, number one, does the market have a need for what I'm trying to sell a membership for? Number two, do I want to be in the membership business, right? Because a membership takes work. So a membership, I want to tell you right up front, even with PLR, it's not set and forget, right? It's not. It's work. It's making sure that your members are set. And you really, I don't want to frighten you from doing a membership, but you need to be on your game, and you need to be ready to make sure that you're taking care of your members. Now, to sell it, you need some credibility, or you need a fantastic offer, right? One or the other. You need a fantastic offer, or you need some credibility. So you're going to have to do one or both. And as I said, what you don't have in experience and credibility, make up for it by making sure that you're offering 10 times the value, right? So if somebody's going to give you $10 a month, $15 a month, $20 a month, for $50 a month, make sure they're getting $500 worth of value. Okay. Here's the simplest way to deliver a membership, just plain and simple. Deliver the content by autoresponder. So as soon as a person makes a purchase, they get sent directly to your autoresponder. Their name and email address is in your database, and they get an email every day or once a week. And you don't then have the worries of a membership site. You're delivering everything that buyer's getting by autoresponder. And I know that some people say, well, they could take the links and they could send them off to somebody. Well, quite frankly, somebody can share your content anyway, even if you're on the membership site. If they download it from the membership site, they can give it over to someone. So, if someone's going to steal from you, they're going to steal from you. The simplest membership, and I've seen this done over and over again. Creating a membership, creating an e-course, right? Creating something that people get content on a regular basis that's unique. And you're going to be able to do that PLR because you're going to leverage it because you're not going to create the content. Now, one way to offer a membership is to niche it down, right? There used to be a gentleman that used to offer one weight loss article per day, right? So you can do this in any niche, right? You can do this in any niche. I did it in the offline niche. You can do it in any niche you want to, as long as there is a need for it. So if let's say that you're going to do something inside the internet marketing niche, right? And you know that people are working, they're creating personal development sites, and they're creating personal development blogs. Well, you could do one personal development article per day, or one personal development video per day, right? These days, if I were going to do a membership, I would do one whiteboard video per day, or one whiteboard video per week, and charge, I don't know, maybe $10, $9 or $10, and then mark it up, right? I do know that there's a gentleman, his name is Tim Carter. He does a video PLR membership. You might want to check out his membership. And I think he offers his to internet marketers to sell and resell the videos he creates, and he just stays on top of what's relevant, right? He just creates these videos, and he gives them to marketers, and marketers can resell them. So I think his membership may be $30 or $40 a month. Now, here's the thing about memberships. You need to get constant traffic to your membership page, because people are going to drop out of your membership. Nobody really truly likes, necessarily they don't necessarily like all the time the continuity programs unless, and here's what I would do now. If you're going to be smart, right, you want to make sure you're offering a phenomenal value, and you need to make sure that you give people an option when they're buying your membership. Well, give an option to either pay for it for a year, or give them the option to pay for the entire membership, right? So they're done. Right, so you know, if they just can't afford it, yet give them an option to pay on a monthly basis. $47, $57, you know, $30 or $47 is not unheard of, right? Typically, those memberships, if you're going to pay for a content membership, right now you can expect that you're going to pay $47, $37 per month. That is a going rate. So if you offer a deal where you're going to maybe give them access to the entire thing for maybe $197 a year, or $2 or $397 for the life of the membership, then you offer a deal, right? So, but you need to get constant traffic, because people are going to fall off if you're just dependent on the monthly. Here's a beautiful part about membership, right? It's recurring income, right? Now I'll just put that right out there. That's really one of the, and when you're offering 10 times the value, right? You're offering every member 10 times the value, right? Stuff that they can really use in their lives, in their business. Well, then you deserve the recurring income, right? It's not a fluke. You're not trying to trick anybody. You're giving them PLR, but you are providing value to them, because they're going to take this content, they're going to use it, and it's going to be a benefit to them. So really, memberships are a fantastic way, as long as you recognize that there's work involved, and then that you recognize all the other things we've been talking about. It needs to be market driven, right? You need to be market driven, and this works extremely well when you have a list and you've got some credibility with them. If they don't know you from Adam, right? Then you've got to offer phenomenal value when you offer when you make the offer to them to join your membership site. Okay? Okay, now the last broad area that you can maximize your PLR with, now you can offer bonuses on affiliate products. Now, once again, this sort of presupposes that you already have a list, all right, and you're selling affiliate products to that list. So bonuses work best when you're sending out an email and you are adding on bonuses. Now, you want to try to create some unique bonuses if you can. Now, you're not always going to have time, and you're not always going to be able to do this, but try to recreate very unique bonuses. If you're going to, let's say, let's say, sell an affiliate product on software, well, get some PLR articles that would relate to the software, or that the people could put in the software, or something to that effect. You know, make them unique, make them relevant to what the product is, right? You know, your bonuses should be relevant and unique, because the effort you're putting into getting a bonus, that bonus should help you to sell that product. It should say, and you've seen this before, where you might say, well, I'm going to get this product anyway. I'm going to go where there's the best bonus. Now, sometimes, you know, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, it's not just the person with the most stuff, right? It's typically the person with the most relevant bonus, and one that will get people started using the product. Now, here's a really ninja thing to do. You can add content to some PLR and change the cover, right? So don't just take a piece of PLR and they gave you an image and you're just going to stick that image on your sales page. Take $5 and create a new cover, right? Add a little content to it, put 2 or 3 PLR pieces together that complement each other, and create a new cover, right? And call it a brand new product. You know, people are blind to, you know, you're going to just kind of put the same product in there during a launch, and people are going to see, you know, this product a second, third, or fourth time. Just be wise, right? Be prudent, and you know, it takes $5 in 5 minutes to add a couple of products together and then get a cover made in Fiverr. And we're all guilty of this sometimes. And you want to try not to do what I call the 10,000 bonuses method. In other words, you're just going to add in, so many bonuses, right? You're going to get all this stuff, right? Now, when you just put a bunch of old resale rights covers on your page, it's really old, it's really played out. Make your bonuses unique. Marketers are blind to that, and they're gonna see that. Especially if you're selling to internet marketers, they're gonna run into that cover someplace else. So don't just take all these products, stick the covers onto your sales page, or stick your covers onto your bonus page, and think that that's going to sell the product for you. Okay, try to do something unique. Now, your bonus can and should make people want to buy. Just get the bonus sometimes, right? So you should be able to create such, and typically you can do this, and I said this in the last session. Just find an expert, right? Find an expert that your audience or people haven't heard of. Get that person on the line, interview them, and then add that to the package, or make that your central package, right? Find an author. There's probably an author in your city, in your niche, right? Get that person, right? Get that person in an interview. And the last thing I'm just going to show you now, you know what bad bonuses are? They're typically the result of bad planning. In other words, there's an affiliate offer, you just found out about it, so you're just going to send it out to your list. You're going to get it out in a hurry, and so you're going to say, hey, I'm going to offer this, this PLR product, or I'm going to offer this thing, and so you've got your bonus. It's kind of thrown together. Well, that's just honestly, and I've done it. It's bad planning, right? Now, what can you do about bad planning? Bad planning is typically the result of unorganized PLR. So what I'm going to tell you today, and once again, and I've said this earlier, I'm going to say this again. When you get your PLR, organize it in the folders. It doesn't matter when you get it, where you get it, and I know that clogs up your hard drive, but if you're really going to use it in order to make money, especially to sell affiliate bonus, organize your PLR as soon as you get it. Get it into categories. Get it into different folders on your hard drive, so that when you run across, right, an affiliate product, you want to promote it, and let's say it's list building software. Well, you go to your list building folder, and you look to see what's a complementary product. And then even if you have to take 2 or 3 list building products and create something unique, like I said before, you can do that when you're organized. And I know that this is something that, it seems like a small thing, but it makes a big difference when you can offer a unique bonus, and you're going to offer something that's helpful to people. You're going to offer something that's useful to people. You're probably going to get that affiliate sale, right? Offer something unique, offer something helpful, and then you can do that when you're organized with your PLR. So like I said, bad bonuses and stuff like that, it's really bad planning. And you get over that if you make sure your PLR is organized. Okay, now I'm going to end the lesson by sharing with you something that I've personally done, right? And I know this works. And it's if you don't have a list, we'll be talking about some list building methods in the next session. But if you don't have a list, and you don't have a lot of money, but you've got some skills, and you can put some things together. I'm going to give you this method, and if I were to get started in a niche, right? If I were to restart a business in the offline niche, this is how I would start. You can do this in any niche. Now, the buyer infiltration method. Now, I did not come up with that phrase. I think it was either Barbara Ling or Dr. Ben Atkins, one or the other. I think they came up with the phrase. I don't know where it came from, but it is probably the most ninja list building method that I have come across, and it works like gangbusters depending on how much work you put into it. And here's all it is. It's really simple. You take your PLR and you create a fantastic product bonus. Right? It should stand on its own as a great product. Right? You create a sales graphic for the product creator to put on their sales page. You put together a squeeze page, right? And then you want to make sure the marketer gets to use this in their product launch. So in other words, they have a bonus, and they have a fantastic bonus, and this bonus is worth something because you meticulously put this together, and it is almost as good, or it is as good as any paid product. Now, the bigger and more awesome the launch, the better. So the bigger the launch you can get this into, the better. So, don't think that you're too big for your britches to ask a big-time marketer, right? Ask somebody big in order to do this, as long as your product is phenomenal, as long as you have something that's dynamite. Now, please do not do this if you're just going to have a PLR ebook, right? Don't implement this strategy. When you come to this strategy, you're going to ask a big-time marketer. You come with your very best, and even if you get shot down, and they tell you, you're going to get told why they don't want your product in there. Learn from that. But you come with your best, and that's how you're going to learn from this. And oftentimes, you're going to be able to add your bonus. Now, you want to make sure that you have a product funnel in place, right? You want to have a low-end offer at some point. Get that into your autoresponder. That should have an OTO. You want to have a higher-end offer, a coaching product. And so this is what you're going to be putting together with your PLR, right? You should have a product funnel. And sometimes you don't have time to put all that stuff together. Well, that's what you use your PLR for. You leverage that PLR by putting these products in place and getting them ready for the traffic you're going to be getting and getting some offers in front of people. You should be writing sales and bonus copy for the product creator. Look, I'm going to tell you this. If you want this to work, if someone came to me with this, right, I want them to make this incredibly easy for me. I've got a launch going on, and it should be so easy that all I've got to do is take your HTML and put it on my page and add your page to my download page. It needs to be that easy. And you need to write the copy, right? You need to write the copy that goes on their sales page. You need to write, you need to put the link together. It should be downloaded. You should test it. This should be so simple for the marketer that it is brain dead. They've got a ton of things to do. They don't have time to figure this out for you. And you don't get a lot of chances, right, to get this right. You want to get this right the first time. Now the key is understanding what they're offering. Right? So understand what they're offering, and when you create your product as a bonus, make sure that it helps their buyer to use what they're going to be selling. Now, sometimes they might put together a bonus themselves, granted, but know what they're selling, and then when you add your bonus, it should really help them sell the product. Now, the other thing you should be doing, now, in order for this to work, you can't just kind of walk up on someone, right? This is not going to work that way. You have to already be building relationships, right? So if you're already building relationships in your niche, this is going to work because you're going to approach somebody who knows you, somebody you already know. So if you don't have relationships in your niche, start building them. Because the buyer infiltration method, probably the easiest way, cheapest way, and most high quality way. Now here's the real, just the craziness in how well this works. You're getting a buyer's list, right? So you're not getting people who kick tires, and you can do this over and over and over again if you're willing to create a unique, relevant offer for that big marketer. Right? Your list will grow, and you will get buyers on there. And if you have a product funnel in place, you will make money. So here is a golden opportunity for you. Once again, now is this just slap up a website and hope it's going to sell? No, it's not that. Is this set and forget it? No. Is this just get somebody to promote my product? No, it's not that. This is work, right? But the beauty of this is you get a buyer's list, and you have a list of people that you know what they like, you know what they want, and then you can start building a relationship with that list, and then you can do all the other stuff. You can do the ad swaps, and you can do the solo list. This is probably the I'd say, and I have to say this from experience. This is the best way to build a list. Right? If you're going to get started, anytime you decide to use solo ads, you decide to use ad swaps, you're going to get a bunch of noise inside of the list you get. It's going to be a bunch of people who just got on your list because they want to get free stuff. Right? They're not there because they're interested in building a business. When you get these buyers, you're going to have a lot less than you would get in the solo ad, but you're getting people who buy things because they're looking to build their business. Right? So the buyer infiltration method, it'll work if you work it. Now, one of the keys in being able to launch these strategies is really being able to have at your fingertips, a vault of PLR material, because if you're going to use the buyer infiltration method, you've got to put products together. If you are going to create a membership site, you need to have a wealth of products that you can pick through and that you can construct new products with. And so it typically isn't enough to be able to download one or two. You want to have access to a number of them. And what Jonathan and Sharon have put together is they have basically a system where you will be able to get access to at least 50 new PLR products, and that you'll be able to get them every 2 weeks. So you've got PLR, you've got resale rights products, and basically you can then either resell them or reuse them. And I would encourage you to do both. Now, if you're going to use the buyer infiltration method, you can actually do both methods. You can resell them, you can create memberships, and you can use them in order to create bonuses for affiliates. It's really all encompassing. You've just got to have a source that you don't have to go looking for. Now, Jonathan and Sharon, they're going to deliver these products to you every 2 weeks. So you're going to get an email with the URL. Very simple to access. You will then be able to get access to the products, and as I said, what you should do is immediately download those products and then organize them so that they're ready, because you've got all of these opportunities ahead of you. If you know a marketer right now, you could be putting together your product for their bonus and building your list. You don't have to wait for anything. Pick the next launch and put together. Now, here's the deal. Now, as I said, most memberships are probably going to go, and you're probably going to get maybe 1 or 2 pieces of new content for $40 or $37 a month. They're offering this actually for $17 a month, but you can literally get in for the lifetime of the membership at $197, and that's really what I would do. They're going to let you start for $1 so you can get in, take a look around, and then really get a chance to use what it is that you're going to have. Having these products come to you on a regular basis is really the key to being able to profit and to being able to, basically to leverage the work of someone else. If you really want to get in, I want to try it out for a year at $97, but if you think about it, if a membership is normally $37 a month, you're saving a bunch of money. Now, they're giving you 50% off of their lifetime membership, but really and truly, you're saving a bunch because you can then take these products almost immediately and get started on the buyer infiltration method. I would today. I would really go ahead and start the $1 trial of the $197 membership, because you're done. No fees, no additional, no monthly payments. You make the payment, you're done, and you can start using your PLR immediately. You've been given a number of strategies where you can start making money almost immediately. Now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about traffic strategies. I'm going to show you even more how, if you want to start getting traffic tomorrow and combine the 2 days of what we've been teaching you and showing you, man, you can use PLR to really make real money, to really get money into your PayPal. So if you had problems in the past or you haven't been able to get started, look, anybody can do the buyer infiltration method. Anybody. Right? Anybody can do this. You've just got to have the content. You've got to have the resources, and that's what Jonathan and Sharon are really providing for you here. And you can get started today for $1. I would get started today for $1 and get started making money. And really the best possible way to do this is to have it so that you don't have any rebills at all. Right? You get the $197. It's done. You for the rest of your internet, rest of the time that this is available. Well, you don't pay anything. Right? You download it instantly, it's yours, and then you get started. So with that, you have, I guess you can, you've got a link right down there below. So don't worry about the URL there. You've got a link right down there below. Click that link, take it to the page, get started today, and then just watch this recording over again and get started on one of the methods. It's really, really simple. I showed you things that anybody can do and anybody can get started with today. So with that, I appreciate being with you again in this session, and I hope that, look, I know it was helpful for you if you take action. So go ahead, get your resources, get started, and I will see you in our next session.